Welcome to another episode on our channel. I didn't get a chance or didn't think about actually posing Whiplash with Ironman when we saw these figures individually. So now's a good time to do it. And this was a wonderful movie that came out in 2010, Ironman 2. I decided to go back and get Whiplash and Ironman from that particular movie. Interestingly, Hot Toys came out with Whiplash in 2020, 10 years after the movie had come out. And then Tony Stark, Iron Man, followed 1 year later. I'm glad that happened, though, because the head sculpts are perfect. The characters are dressed perfectly. The only problems, from my perspective, is the engineering as it relates to the chest lights and other lights and so forth. And also that this uniform or this armor is hard to put together. It was a journey. It's like a puzzle. You have to figure it out, how everything connects and that sort of thing. But with Whiplash, I think the engineering was better in terms of turning on the chest light. You just have a battery pack in the back underneath some clothing. And if you hear noises, that's the whips rubbing against the table. But underneath a couple of pieces of material is a battery pack. And here is a switch where you can turn the light on and off for the chest. With Tony Stark, however, this light here, you have to pull this piece either off or far enough away where you can get a flathead screwdriver in there and turn the switch on. And then if you want to turn the light off, you have to repeat the process. So that's a pain, either taking it off or pulling it apart enough where you can reach in with a screwdriver, flathead, to manipulate the switch. The hands are even worse. If you want to get the hand palm lights on, you have to take the wrist piece and the forearm piece apart. You have to shimmy the shirt sleeve up so you can get to the switch. You turn it on, sleeves goes down, the wrist piece and the forearm piece go back on the arm. Same thing with the other side. And then when you want to turn the light off, you have to repeat the process again. So this is not as energy efficient, I guess is a way to put it. You have to do a lot more work in terms of getting lights on and off. But he is so cool looking. The head sculpts are absolutely amazing. I'll turn them around slowly. Now, they were never this close without being engaged with the whip, so to speak. At a certain point in time, Iron Man had his arm kind of twisted around the whip and was pulling Whiplash towards him. So you have to kind of imagine that they're like 30, 40, 50 feet apart, but to get them to be shown together simultaneously, they're within feet of each other. So that's not fully accurate to the movie. But let's go around and take a look at them together. They're looking at each other. You can hear the whips on the table again. You can see there is some lighting, and we'll have dimmer lights so you can actually see this a lot better, but some lighting on the back of Whiplash. The externals here in terms of the hardware he has on his arms and chest and everything is just so well done, so perfect to the movie, as is Iron Man. That light, when you can get the lights on, it is breathtaking to watch. All right. You can see the blood on Tony Stark's face. This is just absolutely amazing. I think we're going I think this is good enough to go around a couple times. The only bad thing is I can pull these down and out, but I can't get it to really rest fully on the shoulder. So that's kind of a problem with this figure. I don't know if I'm doing something wrong. I don't think so. I've tried every single way I can think of to get those down on the shoulders, but I can't get them down fully. But this is absolutely two very striking figures. Whiplash is taking a step towards Tony Stark. So his right foot is forward, his right arm is in the opposite direction. His left foot is behind him, almost off the ground, and his left hand is in front of him. So there you go. There are the two men of the hour. Now, what I'd like to do is show you these same two guys in dimmer lights, go around a bit, and then I have a surprise. All right, so let's pause for a second and get the lights a little bit dim. We are back with the lights dim, so you can probably see Whiplash's chest light a lot better now. If we turn them around with the shadows showing and so forth, and the scrape of his whips on the table, you can see some tubing lights here in the back. It's just subtle in the back, but now you can see Tony Stark's lights, or his chest light as well. I didn't turn on his palm lights. It was going to be too much in terms of trouble, and you never know if you're going to break something. That's the downside. So, yeah, these are tremendous figures that came out 10 years plus later after the movie Ironman 2 in 2010. So here they are. Again, recognize they wouldn't have been this close with this type of posing, with Whiplash walking towards Tony Stark and Tony Stark kind of being ready, minus the helmet. But they look great. Absolutely look great. Now, we're gonna pause and get a close-up of them so you can see some more details. We'll get the lights back on, and then we'll do something else. So we'll pause right now. We are back, and now I am sure you can see the precious details in both of these figures. The blood on Tony Stark's face, the profile shot of Whiplash, the armor, the external armor around his arms, and the light on his chest. So we'll kind of go around, and again, you'll hear the whips along the table. That's okay. There's his face and the chest light. He's targeting his enemy, Tony Stark. And there is Tony Stark with his chest light, who's also looking at Mickey Rourke. Yeah. So we've come full circle. These are two absolutely fantastic figures. I couldn't be happier with them. I'm glad they waited so long to come out with them, because the head sculpts are tremendous and the clothing, the accessories are great. So we'll pause now, and just wanted to show you a modification we made to Whiplash. So we'll pause now and get set up for that. we are back, and here is Whiplash again. That chest light is looking awful good, very bright. My only complaint about this figure when I last talked about it was I just wish they could have put light down the whips to represent electrical currents going through it. I like that they have the plastic surround piece over the whip that kind of looks like current or electricity. My husband, though, went out and got some glowing rope light that's 3 millimeters in diameter, and we cut it to the right length, painted it black where it stopped at the whip. I fastened it with little wire ties that were black as well. So let's show you what that looks like in the dimmer light here. So you can have it, it kind of looks orange a little bit. When you turn it on, it definitely looks yellow, which it should. So we can have it just on, or we can have it flickering. This is the fast speed, which I think is a very cool effect. So with the little customizing, you can make Whiplash come even more to life with this adjustment, and it won't cost you an arm and a leg to do it. So we can go slower with the lights too. And of course, it does have its off button. Not very expensive, very economically priced. And these represent 2 sets. One to go to one whip, the other to go to the other whip. Again, we've cut it to fit. Let me turn it back on. And you won't notice, let me try to move it with these 2 things in tow. It basically starts with the whip. Everything else is black. And I have it going up over the tubing in the back. So you really don't notice it. You just notice the yellow lights going on and off. So if you want this effect, it's easy to do. Get glowing rope light, 3 millimeters in diameter, and measure it out. Put it on with little black twisty ties. Because everything else is seemingly black, it won't stand out that you've done any adjustments. So yeah, I like the effect that was created here, and my husband made it come to life for me. So I'm happy. I'm a happy camper. This is a wonderful figure. I hope you've liked what you've seen. Let's get both characters out. Let's pause, get them both out. I'll leave the lights flickering, and then we'll say our goodnight. Here's one last look at both of our figures, Tony Stark, Ironman, and Whiplash, Robert Downey Jr., Mickey Rourke, with the modifications that we made. All told, this probably was $15 to $20 to include batteries. Not much for a neat effect. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed what you've seen. If you have, please consider giving us a thumbs up and subscribing to our channel. In the meantime, everyone, have a great night or day or whatever it is.